Hello, everyone. You are welcome to today's lesson. And in today's lesson, we are going to continue from where we left off, dealing with the topic was functions. Okay, and I think we are looking at lesson 4. Okay, this is going to be lesson 4 of elective maths functions. Okay, lesson 3, we did everything about composite functions. Okay, lesson 4, we are not going to deviate from that. We'll continue from where we left off. Like I said, we'll be dealing with composite function, only that this time around, we are going to work with, okay, a little more complex functions or questions that maybe looks different from what we've solved or handled so far. Okay, so please stick and stay with me. And as usual, at a point that you don't get anything, don't hesitate to let me know. I am here because of you. Okay, any new students on board, please, you are welcome, warmly welcome. And one rule for my class is what I just said. At a point that you don't understand, let me know. Okay, I'm here because of you. Okay, so now this is it. You've been given, you can see that this time around, we are looking at 3 functions and we are finding, or we are going to find composites of 3 functions. So far, we've not handled, okay, a situation of this sort. But don't worry. Remember we said, okay, composite functions, in composite function, you apply 2 or more functions successively, or where you have one function being the input of another function. That's also, if you have this basic information, okay, even if I give you 1,000 functions and I ask you to find the composites of them, irrespective of the arrangement of the composite function, you should be able to deal with it. Not to talk of just 3. Okay, so this is it. Okay, so let's quickly go and look at the solution and how best we can deal with what we have here. But before we look at the solution, I want us to have the basic meaning of maybe the first 2. Okay, composite functions that we have here. We know anytime you are dealing with composite function, we ask ourselves, okay, we are supposed to get an input function, or we should be able to determine our inner function and our outer function. Okay, so because we know that we need to know this so that we know the function that is going to be fed and the function that we are going to use to feed. Okay, because we said it is your inner function that you feed with the outer function. So if I look at this clearly, I can see that what I have here, I can write this as f, okay, of, okay, so meaning I'm treating the whole of this as one function. So f of j as my outer function. Then my inner function will be h of x. So it will be, I feed, okay, f of j with h of x. Should I come again, or my point is well made?
Come again.
I should come again.
Come
okay.
again.
If you, just like in algebra, if you have 1,000 terms, you can always look at 1,000 terms to be 2 terms. Okay, let me start from 3. Let's say if I have the terms a plus b plus c, I can look at this on the face of it. How many terms do you see?
3.
3 terms. I can look at this to be 2 terms. And in that case, I will see this as a plus, then I'll put b plus c in brackets, so that the whole of this will be a term and the whole of this will be regarded also as a term. You get the point?
Yes,
So if you have 1,000 terms, okay, you can always write it as 2 terms. And here we have 3 functions. And I said indirectly you can, because you know how to find the composites of 2 functions from where we are coming from. If you are given more than 2 functions, you can take it to your comfort zone, which is 2 functions. And by that, this is what I mean. If I have this function, I can take maybe the first 2 functions here as one function, meaning f of j as my outer function. Okay, and what do you call it? H of s becomes my inner function. So in that case, if I want to find the composite of this, it will be my outer function, which is f of j. Then I feed it with h of s. That's what I have here. Is my point well made now?
yes, please.
That is one way.
Yes.
I can also look at this. This will also be the same as, I can look at f as only my outer function. In that case, my inner function will be the whole of these two functions. Is that clear? So I can consider this only as my outer function, and j of h of x also as what? As my inner function. So in that case, I am going to get, I can also write this as f, okay, of, so it will be, I will feed it with what? My inner function, which will be j of h of x. Is my point well made?
Yes, please.
Okay, so it means this is equal to that, obviously, at this point. Please, who wants me to come again? This is the foundation. If you don't get it, okay, I am going to struggle for you to understand.
Sir, please come again.
Okay, you always wait for this question. All right, okay, so from which point?
Sir, please, from the part that after you did the f of g into brackets h of x.
So you
and
understand
you did,
this? You understand this?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
I
please.
heard another voice. The other voice too. Please, do you understand this one? Is your problem
Yes.
this one?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so like I said, you see, how did we treat this one? We treated this one as, okay, we consider the first two, that is the composite of f and j, that is f of j, as what? Our outer function. And we considered what? H of x as what? As our inner function. So if you see f of j of h of x, then it means it will be f of j, we feed it with h of x. That one you said you understand. And I said I can group anyway, even with this one. Okay, I can group this one as A plus B, then plus C. Indirectly, still, I have how many terms? This is not two terms. So we are looking at the possible ways that you can, okay, manipulate your function that you have there to be two functions, sort of, so that you have a composite of two functions, your comfort zone. So I said, okay, then this time around, I'm going to take my first function as one function, and I'll rather group these two. So I'll take g and h as my, okay, so my outer function, then g of h as what? My inner function. Is it clear now?
Yes.
So on that note, it means it will be my outer function, which is f. That because I have of, I feed it with the whole of the inner function, which is j of h of x. And that's what I have here. Is it clear now?
Yes.
Or I should still come again. It's clear, right?
Yes.
Great. Okay, but we know, you can see that if I look at this, okay, indirectly, I can simplify this further. We are playing with it, the composite, okay, notation. Okay, I know what is the meaning of j of h of x. It means now this will be your outer. If I'm considering what I have here, my input for the f of x, or for the f, okay, you can see that j is now my outer and h, okay, is what's my inner. So I can say that what I have here is also equal to, but let me calm down. It's also equal to f. I feed it with what? You can see that the g here, I have to feed j with h of x. Do you agree?
Yes.
You agree. So look at, okay, one composite function, how we've been able to write it. Okay, so if you know how you can play with it this way, then the work is going to be very easy going forward. Okay, so let me quickly make the point clear, maybe in the B. So this is it. You know, in composite function, usually we work in this direction. So I'm going to write this to be equal to, okay, the best way that I want to write it so that it will involve only two functions, basically. Okay, I mean, I will need only one composite function notation. So I will take my outer function. So I know that I'm going to work on this. I will keep my j, I will keep my of, which is the composite notation. But I know f of h is the same as what? F. Okay, I feed it with what? H of x. Am I right? Hello, are you with me?
Yes, please.
Okay. Did I hear no?
Yes, please.
Okay, all right. Okay, so this is it. You know, okay, let's break this one down. I'm going to write j of, okay. Now, assuming this is covered. Your G of is covered, and you have f of h. How would you write f of h in terms of its basic meaning? That would be f, you feed it with h of x, am I right?
Yes, please.
Okay, so it means in place of f of h of x, I can substitute this. You get the point?
Yes, please.
Okay, which is exactly what I have here. So I think now you are on board. Are you?
Yes.
Please.
Okay, very good. Now you know that, okay, in your computation, you shouldn't see off. So when you see off, the off will always, or the composite notation will always separate or tell you your inner and outer. So it means before my composite operation is my outer. After my composite operation, the function there will be my inner. Okay, so in this case, again, we know that this will be the same as J. You feed it with what? F of h of x. All correct now.
Yes, please.
Okay, so as you mature, you can write this straight away. Immediately you see it. So if my point is well made, then let's go and comfortably look at the solution. But before the solution, any questions? Any questions? Okay, great. We thank God you are all fine, at least up to this point. Okay, so now let's go and look at the solution. Okay, so as usual, if for nothing at all, how we start our presentation, we should all, be up there. Okay, so when you read question, check whether you have salient part to underline. If I read this, okay, no salient parts. Okay, so I don't underline anything. Okay, after that, the next thing you write is solution. Okay, then when the questions are numbered, you have to number your solution as well. So what do I write here? I am going to write question number 5. Okay, then, dots, because the 5 has a dot with it. Then what do? We would need the function. So we are going to extract the functions. The function came in which form?
Mapping.
In the mapping form. However, remember, we don't extract in the mapping form. We extract it in the corresponding relation forms. Okay, and I've told you when you are extracting, don't write the dots. Just write given, don't write dots. It's okay. In exams, every letter time counts. Okay, so that is not necessary. Okay, that's not to say that if you write it, will mark you down. Okay, what giving that can do, only giving can do as well. So giving, okay, f of x, a pretty function, a polynomial for that matter. Okay, s plus 1. Okay, then g of x equally pretty. Okay, 2 minus x. Okay, then and you come down. Okay, your last function, h of x, okay, is equal to also pretty, 3x, okay, minus 5. So this is what we have. Okay, in your solution, you don't write find. I've told you, immediately you come and write find, then it means you have a question in your solution. Okay, take note. So those of you who do that, you can see that usually I will cancel that and I will take some marks. So be careful. The find is telling you, so what am I supposed to find? So it means now I move on to A. The find will tell you exactly what you are supposed to do with that information that you've extracted there. So A. Okay, A, what am I supposed to find? I'm supposed to find f of what? J of what? H of x. Okay, the composite of 3 functions. Okay, and just as I explained in my introduction, okay, we know that basically this will be equal to, this an expression, so we know we are going to start our steps with what? With, oops, okay, equal to. Take note of that. All right. Okay, so let me mute some of you. Okay, all right. Okay, so now we know that this will be the same as, okay, f of, then it will be j, you feed it with what? H of x. Okay, which also implies that this will be the same as f. You feed the whole of that with what? J of h of x. Is my point well made?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes,
where I started from, let me write this bracket, okay, here well. Okay, I think it's not appearing well. So if you are following, then you are doing well. Okay, keep it up. If you are not, please make sure you prompt me. Okay, so now this will be h. Okay, so h of x, then you close. Okay, I think this is it. Okay, so at this point, this is all that we are going to do. So we are going to work on what we have in bracket here first. So we are going to get f. Okay, then into j, you feed it with h of s. Do we know h of x? Is the function h of s given?
Yes, please.
And that is what? 3x minus 5. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay, so it means now we should be able to evaluate j at what? 3x minus 5. So that means wherever we see x in j of x, it is now 3x minus 5. All correct?
Yes.
Okay. The reason why, let me go back a little. The reason why, okay, I didn't work with this one straight away is that for me to work with this one, I have to first of all find f of j before I can feed it with h of x. And that will give me my results. Okay. And in this situation, I don't know f of j. So I will go and find f of j. So that will make my work a little difficult. And remember, I told you in functions and even in general in math questions, okay, anytime you will give a solution which is possible for you to rely on only giving, let me say, information, you do that. However, with this one, if I am going to use f of j, then I will find f of j, which probably will be wrong. So even if f of j is wrong and I feed it with what? A correct h of x, my result will be wrong. So that's the more reason why I didn't go that route. If f of j was given, then I would have substituted h of x straight away, because in that case, okay, f of j didn't come by my way or as my own effort. So that's just by the way. So now this is what we have. So we are going to feed, okay, so I will keep my f. Then here it means I'm going to feed the j, okay, x in j with what? 3x minus 5. So my function of interest here is j. So where is j? J is this. So this will mean, okay, to be in bracket 2 minus x, and x now is what? 3x minus 5. So remember, you are substituting for x, so you put it in bracket. So it will be 3x minus 5. Then you close it. Point well made, or I should come again?
Please come again.
Okay, all right. So you understand up to this step, right?
Yes, please.
Okay, so you are going to work with what you have in bracket first. Okay, so you keep your f. If I ask you to find j of 3x minus 5, remember we've done how to evaluate functions, be it at a particular value or be it at an expression. So j of 3x minus 5 will mean wherever you see x in j of x, okay, the input now is 3x minus 5, this expression. So this x now will become 3x minus 5. So that will give us 2 minus x, and the x, our new x here is 3x minus 5. So that's what I did. I put that in bracket, but I kept my f. It's still there. Is that clear now?
Yes, please.
Okay, so now you can see what you have in bracket here doesn't involve any function. Okay, we need to remove brackets and combine like terms. Okay, so if possible. So this will give us f, keep your f. Then we are going to expand this. So that will give us 2 minus 3x, okay, plus 5. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay, which gives us f into, okay, 7 minus 3x. All correct?
Yes, please.
Okay, so now f of 7 minus 3x, what is the meaning? What is the meaning of f of 7 minus 3x?
7 minus 3x plus 1.
7 minus 3x plus 1. No, I want the meaning of this.
Wherever you see x in f of
f
x,
of x,
you put 7 minus 3x there.
Perfect. 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 So that's it. You need to know the meaning before. Okay, so now we move on to, you are doing well, keep it up. So that means now my function of interest here is f. So this is f. my new x, okay, input will be 7 minus 3x, this expression. So wherever I see x here, it will be 7 minus 3x. So that gives us, okay, you put it in bracket just for safety reasons, but I wouldn't have done that anyway because I am matured. So it will be 7 minus 3x, okay, then plus 1. Okay, so which in effect will give us 7. I'll remove the bracket. So it will be 7 minus 3x, okay, plus 1, which will give me 8 minus 3x. All correct?
Yes.
Okay, so at that point, we all know we could have drawn our conclusion. So I'm going to do that there. I'm going to do same. I'm going to draw my conclusion, okay, at that point. So let me clear that and do the needful. So I'll write therefore what I was asked to find, because it's an expression, it will be, okay, f of what? G of what? H of x, okay, will be equal to 8 minus what? 3x. Any questions at this point?
No, please.
So we are all fine. Great. It means the future is very, very bright. Okay, so now let's look at the second question, B. Okay, B, what are we given? We are asked to find G of what? F of what? H of x. Okay, which we know by, okay, maturity. We know that this will be J. You feed it with F of what? H of x. Is that clear?
Yes, please.
Okay, is it costly for me to skip this step? I mean, in terms of your understanding. If I skip
No,
it,
please, sir.
okay, so if you are okay, then we are good to go. Let me write my H function well. Okay, so now this will mean I will have my J. Okay, then my F, my inner function I know, H of x is what? Is 3x minus 5. So I'm going to get 3x minus 5. I substitute. So this means I keep my J. Okay, then I'm going to feed. Okay, I bring my bracket, and what I have inside the bracket here, okay, will mean wherever I see x in f of x, I put 3x minus 5 there. So I'll feed the function f with 3x minus 5. So where is the function f? The function f is this, the one that we extract. So it means this x here will now be 3x minus 5. Okay, so I will substitute. That will give me 3x, okay, minus 5. And you will put it in brackets because maybe you are not matured. Okay, then plus what? 1. All correct. Okay, so in effect, okay, we can simplify what we have in brackets here. So you simplify before you go and substitute. So that will give us 3x, okay, minus 4. All correct? Please, if you are not following, let me know. Okay, so at this point, you are in a very comfortable lead. Okay, so this means wherever we see, so our function of interest now is only one function, J. So wherever you see x in J of s, you substitute, okay, 3x minus 4. So now your function of interest is J of x. So we are going to get this to be equal to, okay, 2 minus x, and your new x for J is what? The whole of, so you put that in bracket, 3x minus 4. Okay, here failure to put it in brackets will be costly. So this gives us 2 minus, you come and remove the bracket, 3x, then plus what? 4. Okay, the next step will land me at my answer. So I will draw my conclusion there. Therefore, what I was asked to find, which is G of f of h of x, okay, will be equal to, if I combine, I will get 2 plus 4, which is 6. So that's positive. I will start with that. Then minus what? 3x. If my 3x was positive, I would have started with, what do you call it? The 3x. So take note. Is my point well made? This is looking like a B. Let me write it well. It's 6. My professors, are you there?
Yes, please.
Sir, please come again.
From where?
Sir, please from
Use the equal to,
3x
use the equal to, you know, that's why we can easily communicate. Use the equal to tell me the steps, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, so that we can be on the same page. Step. Which step? From which step?
Step 3.
Okay, so here. Here.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we got this from this. You understand f of 3x minus 5. You understand this, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what does that mean?
That is putting h of x in f of x, right?
No, I'm talking about if, let's say, I ask you to find f of 3x minus 5. What is the meaning of this? This means f, you feed it with what? 3x minus 5. Anything that you see in brackets is what? Is more or less an input, which is your object. So this means wherever you see x, okay, please, those of you who understand, okay, move on to the next one, the C. Is that clear? So that it won't be boring. Move on. Okay. All right, whilst I'm explaining. And please don't let me get this far before. Next time I won't tolerate this. Okay, so now this is what we have. So wherever you see x in f of x, it is now what? 3x minus 5. So where is your f of x? It is this. So this x here will be 3x minus 5. Okay, but that's not all. It is plus 1. So that's what we have here. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now you simplify what you have in brackets, which will give you this. Then g of this means this is the input for x, in terms of g of x. So you go and substitute this wherever you see x in g of x. And that's what we did to get our answer. Afa?
Yeah, I understand.
Okay, great. All right, so ask questions, but don't let me go this far. Okay, so obviously this will be out. Okay, so we are now going to look at that of what? Of the D. So you will try this and maybe you submit later if it happens to be an assignment. Okay. I'm moving on to the D. Are we all fine? Are we comfortable?
So please, which one is the assignment?
I said if possible. You know that usually if I give this one a red ink, okay, anything in red is likely to be your assignment. I didn't say it will be assignment, it's likely. So those of you who are waiting, I asked you to try this. So you can try so that when it happens to be assignment, at least you know how to deal with it. But so far, you are not sure whether there's an assignment. So let's move on to D. Can we move on to D? Okay, all right. So I will take your silence to mean yes. So I'm moving on to, okay, D. Okay, so D, let's extract what we are giving. Okay, very soon you even know the answer before you start. I know the answer. Okay, oh, sorry. You can choose not to write given here. Okay, so let me clear that. But once I've written given, you can go on because indeed that was given. So I can go and continue. Oops. Okay, so let me go back. I can go on, but it's not necessary in this case. You use the given when you are extracting the information that you need, but this one you need, so you can equally do that. There is nothing wrong. So let me write it. Okay, so D is J of what? F of F inverse of X. So by the same analysis and understanding, we'll know that what we have here is the same as J. Okay, you feed it with what? F of F inverse. Am I right? Is my point well made or I should come again? Okay, all right. Okay, so this is it. Okay, let me clear it and maybe write it again. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to move this one too. I'm going to move gradually, but I thought maybe we had matured. from the first two that we did. Okay, so this we know is the same as J of, okay, then we know this is the same as F. You feed it with what? F inverse. Am I right? You get it now?
Yes.
Okay, we know how to write this. Remember, we've done this. Okay, we've done this before, so you should know how to write this. Okay, and in effect, this will give us, okay, so what comes before, the function that comes before the composite symbol or notation, okay, is the outer, and this will be the inner, the whole of this. So it means I will feed this outer function, J, with the inner function. So once I'm feeding, I will bring a bracket, then it will be F, okay, of what? F inverse of X. Okay, then this bracket will be the bracket for closing for this one, and the bigger one will close for this one. Is that clear? So you now understand. Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. Here I know, as hardworking as you are, okay, with the other one, what will you do? The first one, we are going to handle it from maybe hardworking but not smart point of view. You know, you usually want to work smarter. Okay, so now this is what we have. We know from where we are coming from, we need to feed F with F inverse. Then the result we feed, okay, that result, okay, the gene with that result. Is that clear? That's what we did in our previous, okay, examples. Let me go back. Okay, so with this one, we fed what gene with what h of x. That gave us whatever that we have there. Then after that, that result, we fed f with it. The same thing. We fed gene with what, we fed f with the whole of what, this, h of x. Then after that, we came to feed gene with the results. So it's the same thing that we are going to do here. Okay, so only that here we know f, but do we know f inverse of s that we can feed? Do we know?
No, sir.
No. So it means we have to go and find f inverse. Is that clear? Of x, because we know f and we can find its inverse. Okay, this approach very soon, because you are smart, okay, you will see, and there is a certain information that you know, okay, you can, okay, get the answer straight away. So going forward after this, that's what I will ask you to do. So in this case, we are going to find f inverse of what? Of x. Sorry, f inverse of x. Yes, that's it. So what do we do? Right, for f inverse? Is that clear? We are going to find that. So for f inverse of x, we let's go. Y to be equal to f of x. And what is your f of x? Okay, that is what? S plus 1. All correct? Then the let is supposed to be capital letter. Then interchanging, the I is supposed to be capital letter too. So interchanging, okay, x and y. Okay, we are going to get x is equal to y plus 1. Then you make y the subject. So if you make y the subject, you get y to be equal to x minus 1. Am I right? Okay, so indirectly, we are finding the f inverse is a means to an end. So you don't write therefore. Okay, the therefore should be for what you were asked to find directly, which is exactly what you have up here. So I will write, this implies that, okay, f inverse of x, okay, will be equal to x minus 1. All correct?
Yes, please.
Okay, so now it means we know that, okay, f inverse that we can substitute. Okay, Jojo, I will pretend I haven't seen what you have there. Remember I told you that, okay, I gave you a hint. Okay, so this time around we are working harder, not smarter. Okay, so let's see. So, but you are right. It's good you have seen it already. Okay, so now this is what we have there. So we are going to substitute, okay, this. So instead I can write therefore straight away. Okay, so therefore, hello, are you with me?
Please, I have a question.
Okay.
Is where we have the interchanging x.
Atu, if you can clean what you have there, clean it for me. I forgot to disable my annotations. Okay, very good. All right. Come again.
Please, I said when we have the interchanging x and y, x is equal to y plus 1. When it comes to the down, if you say y is equal to x minus 1, it's not supposed to be y is equal to x plus 1.
Okay, are you talking about here?
Yes, please.
Okay, you interchange x and y. So it means wherever you see x here and y, you swap. So this becomes x. That's what you have here. Is that clear?
Yes.
This becomes y. That's what
Okay.
Then after that,
Okay.
I made y the subject.
Okay,
Okay,
I've
so
seen it.
welcome back. All right. Okay, so that's it. It's good you had my attention drawn to that. Okay, so now at this point, okay, we can draw our conclusion, or maybe we can write but what do we write? J, or if we draw a conclusion with what we were given, not what you have manipulated or worked on. So I will go for the J of f inverse of x. Okay, this will be equal to, remember we said it will be J. Okay, I'm going to continue from here. Okay, into f, you feed it with what? F inverse. Now you know f inverse to be x minus 1. All correct?
Yes, please.
Okay, very good. Okay, all right. Okay, please, I will advise you go through this. If it's an objective question, then you can use some other ways, okay, smart ways to deal with it without losing any marks. But for subjective purposes, deal with it this way. I guess so at this point, I will come down. This is not my final answer. So when I'm coming down, remember you write close to the margin. Okay, so you don't come and write the equal to here. So take note. Okay, all right. So now, okay, this is what we have. So it means I can now feed so I will have my J. Okay, then I'm going to feed my F. So it will be in brackets. I know F, so I can feed it with x minus 1. So wherever I see x in f of x, it is what? X minus what? 1. So I'm going to get what? Okay, x minus 1, then plus 1. All correct.
Yes, please.
Okay, which in effect, okay, will give us what? J into what? Into x. Is that clear?
Yes, please.
Okay, and J into x is the same as J of x. So that will be equal to, what is your J of x? J of x is
2
what?
minus.
2 minus x. All correct.
Yes, please.
Okay, very good. So you can see that, okay, very soon we'll make that, okay, conclusion, that observation, and we'll make that was solid, what do you call it, statement about what we have here. But let's look at the next one, then after that, okay, but the next one, I will handle it in a smart way for you to know without going through the stress. Okay, so take notes. So the B, or the E, I should say. Any question before I move on to E? You can see that here, therefore, it's already, so I've drawn my conclusion. So my conclusion is embedded in my steps. So I don't have to draw the conclusion again. There should always be one therefore in my presentation. And that therefore should be my conclusion. Yes, please.
Please, where did you get a plus 1?
Where did I get a plus 1?
Yes, please.
I got a plus 1 from the function f. Okay, you can see that this is f of x minus 1. So it means wherever you see x in f of s, you put minus 1 there. So it is only this one that will take the x minus 1. You get it?
Okay.
Then it will be plus 1. Because the function f of s is not just x, it is s plus 1.
Okay.
Okay, very good. All right, so that's if you combine will give us g of s, which is what we have here. So now with this, let's see what we are going to get. Okay, so that is so interesting. All right, so the next one we are looking at what? F of, okay, h of what? H inverse of x. Okay, so I'm handling it this time around maturedly. So we know that this will be f. Okay, we feed it with what? H of H inverse of x. Is that clear? Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay, so this will be equal to f. You know, a certain result. Anytime you find the composite of a function, that same function and its inverse. Okay, what did we say the result should be?
X.
X. So it means without struggling, you know as a statement of fact that what you have in brackets here will be X. Point well made.
Please come again.
I should come again. Okay, you understand the first step, right?
Yes, please.
Okay, now remember, were you with us when we did the composite of a function and its inverse?
Yes, please.
And remember, we said anytime you have h, okay, of h inverse of x, okay, this will be the same as what? H inverse of, okay, h, okay, of x, which we said will give us x. Is that not it?
Yes, please.
Now, what we have in brackets here, which is h of h inverse of x, is it not the composite of h and its inverse?
Yes.
So it means the result of what I have here, without thinking, I know that even if I go through, I stress myself, I'll end up getting S, just as you saw here. You can see, okay, look at what we did here. After going through the f of f inverse here, what we did here, we ended up getting X.
Please, is it always that we'll get X?
Oh, but we said it. We made this statement a statement of fact. Okay, so I'll be shocked if you ask this question. Remember, we said it's anytime you find a composite of a function and its inverse, it is always X. It is an identity, okay, function. Okay, you are giving me the indication that you are not revising. I hope that is not it. Okay, so take note. Anytime it is so, anytime you find a composite of a function and its inverse, it will always give you the identity function X. It is a fact. And I didn't just throw that at you. Remember, with this series of questions, then all of them, we ended up getting X. Then we all had this conclusion drawn together, right? Okay, so though it's a statement of fact, but we made that statement of fact together, or we arrived at that statement of fact together. Okay, Prof. Paulette Paris.
But sir, please, if it is 2 that is replacing x, won't the answer also give you 2?
Which two?
As in, like, if the object is 2, as in, like, if the object is 2, won't the answer also give you 2?
Yeah, remember we did that one too. When
No.
Come again. You come again.
When you're talking about the x, that's why I got confused, but it's okay. Thank you.
Oh no, are you sure? Are you sure you understand?
Yes, please.
Okay. All right. So remember in that lesson, I told you that if you have h inverse of x, this will give us x. And remember, I gave you when it is evaluated at a value. And I said that will also give you 2. You remember?
Yes, please.
So anytime you are evaluating, so once we said your input, remember I said once it will give you the identity function, your input will always be the same as the output. If you are looking at the composite of what? Two functions, where one is what? The inverse of the other. Okay, its input will always give you the same result as the output. That's why it will become an identity function. It doesn't change the identity of the input. Okay, so thank God you are fine. Thank God you are fine. So this will be it. So at this point, you should know we'll make use of this concept, okay, going forward. Going forward, we'll make use of this. So you need to understand this. So indirectly, okay, let's move on. Maybe I will make my points there. Okay, so let's see what we have here. Okay, we'll make the point. Okay, we have another set of questions. Okay, let's see how best we can deal with that. Okay, I am going to ask you, let me see. Okay, very good. I'm going to ask you to do A, B, C, and D, because these are your comfort zones. Okay, then after that, we'll come and do E and maybe F words together. Okay, so we are all going to find F inverse. When you get it, okay, you tell me the answer, I'll write it there because I will need it. Okay, G inverse, you tell me the answer, then I write it. Okay, up to F of G, then G of X. Or do we have someone here who has an issue with the F inverse and the G inverse? Or finding the inverse of a function in general? Or you are all fine? And how to find the composite of two simple functions? Okay, that one too, you are all fine. If someone had an issue, then would have used this as more or less some sort of revision. But if you are all fine, then I will task you to do this for me, just to convince me that you are fine. Okay, so I am waiting for the answers for F inverse. I will need the G inverse and what have you. Okay, I will need it to do this, the last two especially. Okay. Okay, so since you can do A up to what D, do it, and like I said, give me the answer or the answer. So F inverse of X, okay, give us Prof. Bishop. So I'm drawing my conclusion. I'll skip the step. I'm only interested in the results because I will need it.
Yeah.
You had? Come again.
7.
You had X minus 7. You had the same result.
3x minus 7.
Okay, it's 3x minus 7, not plus 7. I have it now. Okay, Bishop. Is it what you said? Please, did you all get 3x minus 7?
Yes, please.
Okay, very good.
Yes.
Then we are moving on to, so that will be the solution for A. Or more, it's not the solution, it's the answer for A. But I needed the solution. Okay. B. Therefore, I'm only drawing the conclusion. G inverse. Who is true? Okay, I want another person. Okay, Prof. Leonard.
5 plus 6x.
5 plus 6x. Okay, then I'll write 6x plus 5. All right, because the S term is positive. Please, is that what you all got? Okay, all right. Okay, and someone has seen, I mean, you should be observant. When you're observant, you see, okay, that when your function is linear, okay, you can get the inverse straight away. And you can see that the inverse will be when you change the sign between the two terms. Okay, smart. Okay, so now in that case, let's go and look at the C. Anyone through with F of G of X? Okay, Leoland, is your hand up or is the old one? Okay. Okay, Prof, yeah, Otre. Therefore, F of G of X is equal to?
Please, Mr. Hackman, the A. I don't know how you got the answer. Can you please solve it for me?
The A.
Mr. Hoffman, please, I think it's wrong.
It's wrong, eh? Okay, so let's do it and see. Let's do it and see. No issues. Okay. All right. Okay, so now, okay, I will skip some of the steps. I won't write it. We'll let X to be equal to what? Y to be equal to the function. So it means I'm going to get Y to be equal to what? 3X. Okay, plus, sorry, yes, plus 7. No, that will not be 2. It will have a denominator. Okay,
Yes,
so
please.
let's do, because if I'm making Y the subject, I will divide by 3. So it will have a denominator. Okay, you only change the sign when the coefficient of the X is 1. Okay, so the other one too is likely. So this is also likely to be wrong.
Yes, please.
Okay, so take notes. I think the concept that you used, okay, only works when the coefficient of your x is 1, okay, or -1. Other than that, it will not work. Take note. So now, if you get x is equal to what do you call 3y plus 7. So we are making y the subject. So you get 3y is equal to x minus 7. So then you divide by 3. So y will be equal to x minus 7 all over 3. So this will be your f inverse. So that is wrong. Be careful. Immediately you get it wrong. Any question that will involve that. As for the inverses, we shouldn't get it wrong. Okay, we know the steps. So we just go strictly by the steps. Okay, all right. So at this point, I've seen that some of you cannot be trusted. Okay, so x plus 7 all over 3. Is that not it? Oh, x minus 7, forgive me. And the other one too, even by inspection, as you mature, you can give the answer. Okay, so this one too should go. Okay, so that one is going to give us what? Okay, 5 minus x over 6.
Yes, please.
So by inspection, I could do that as you mature. 5 minus x, okay, over 6. Okay, so if that's the case, then please move on. Okay, immediately these two wrong. Okay, we'll struggle in getting the concept across here. So these two must be perfect. Okay, yeah, you were, Prof, yeah, let's go. F of g of x. Or you were drawing my attention to the fact that, okay, you didn't get the f inverse to be the same.
Yes, please.
Okay, okay, but you can't tell me f of g of x. You should be able to tell me f of g of x now. Okay, so let's go. I'm waiting. Who is done? Someone should be done by now. Just give me the answers. Okay, Prof. Caleb.
Yes, sir.
What did you get? Let me see if I can trust you.
So please, I had 22 minus 18x.
22 minus
18x.
18x, perfecto. Okay. He's right. You see? Okay, and the last one, those of you done, okay, you should be able to confirm or otherwise. The last one, j of f of x. What will you get? All the terms being negative? Hello? My professors, are you there? Okay, hey, Prof. Kweku, today the gentlemen, they are really, really, okay, so
Negative.
of course.
Negative 37 minus 18x.
Negative 37 minus 18x. So I'll write minus 18x. Remember I said it's better minus 37. Is that clear? And remember, please, is that what you had?
Yes, please.
Okay,
Yes,
so remember I
please.
told you that all the terms will be negative. Indirectly, I gave you a hint that all the terms being negative. So this is what we are supposed to get. Okay, we'll go for our water break. When we come back, we'll come and look at what we have here. Okay, then after that, we look at how best to make use of that concept. Okay, so by 8, okay, 5, you should all be back. We'll resume. Okay, so you are welcome from the break, the water break. Okay, so we did question A up to D, and the results are what we have here. So let's look at the E and what and the F. Okay, we are going to do something, okay, shortly. We will need this going forward. That's the more reason why. So let's look at the E. Okay, so E. Okay, what are we giving? Or we have what? F of, we are supposed to find F of G, okay, of what? G inverse of X. Is that clear? Hello? That's what we've been asked to find. Is that not it?
Yes.
Okay, but fortunately for us, okay, we have found F of G of X. Okay, so if we are able to feed what we have here means feed F of G with G inverse of X. So if you're able to feed, okay, F of G with G inverse of X that we also know, okay, then we should be good to go. So in this case, I'm going to write this. Okay, assuming this is your presentation, okay, so you write but, then you go and extract. Okay, but your F of G of X, you know, that's given. Or in fact, you found it anyway. It wasn't given. That's what 22 minus 18x. Okay, and okay, you need G inverse of X too. So G inverse of X. Okay, we found that to be what? 5 minus X all over what? 6. Okay, certain vital information will come out. That's all. That's the more reason why we are doing this. I don't want to give you that information straight away. Usually, that's not my style. Okay, unless it's not necessary. I want you to get it yourself so that you get to know the validity of that concept. Okay, so in this case, I can come and write, because something has interfered with what I have. Ordinarily, I will write this and come and write equal to, but something has interfered with what, okay, ordinarily would have affected the equal to when written. So here, once something has interfered, you cannot write equal to straight away. So I will write maybe it implies, or I will come and draw my conclusion. Therefore, okay, my F of G of G inverse, okay, we know will be equal to F of G. You feed it with G inverse, and you know G inverse to be 5 minus X all over 6. All correct?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Okay, very good. Okay, so at this point, you are writing next line close to the margin. So wherever I see X in F of G, what do I put there? I put 5 minus X all over 6 there. So where is my F of G? F of G is this. So this X will take this. So I'm going to have 22 minus what? 18 into X. And my new X now is what? 5 minus X all over 6. Okay. And now the whole of this is a fraction. Okay. And multiplying this. Remember, before you multiply, check if you can reduce. And obviously we can reduce. So that will give us 22. Okay. 6 will go here 3. Am I right? Okay. So
Yes,
we'll get
please.
minus 3 into what? 5 minus X. This step, okay, here. Okay, you could have done that. So you can move from this step to the step that I'm going to write. This is just for explanation purposes. Okay, so 22, then minus, you know, it will be 3 times, minus 3 times 5. So that will give us what? Minus 15. Then it will be minus 3, okay, times minus X. So that will give us plus 3X. Is that clear?
Yes, please.
Okay, so at this point, okay, this will be equal to, okay, fortunately for us, our S term is positive, so write that one first. So 3x. Okay, 22 minus 15 will give us
7.
7, so plus 7. Okay, look at what you have here carefully, the result. 3s plus 7 is equal to which function? Which of the given function is the same as 3s plus 7?
F of X.
F of X. F of X. Take note of that. F of X. So I'm going to make the point, okay, here too. But before I make that point, okay, let's see if comfortably, okay, we can get it from here. I think you are smart. Okay, are you okay with this explanation? If you get it, then I can make the point from here as well. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's move on to the F. Okay, we'll do the F together too. Okay, so let's go and look at the F and see the question F. Okay, so F, what are we supposed to find? Let's see the results that will come out. Then we draw the conclusion together. G of F, okay, of F inverse of X. Okay, so we know we need to feed G of F with what? Sorry, F inverse. But we found G of F, so I'm going to write but. Okay, my G of F of X, okay, is equal to, what did we get? Let's go back and check. Okay, you have it, so you can give me the answer. Minus 18 minus 30, minus 18s minus 37, is that not it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you need F inverse this time round. Okay, and F inverse of X. Okay, what did we get?
X minus 7/3.
X minus 7/3. Okay, so I'll write therefore my G of F inverse, okay, will be equal to G of F. I feed it with F inverse. I know F inverse, and that is X minus 7/3. I hope you are following my professors.
Yes.
Yes, please.
Okay,
Yes,
if anyone is lost, please let me know. Okay, we all started together, we'll end together. Okay, so now this means wherever I see X in G of F, I put X minus 7 there, or S minus 7/3 there, I should say. So where is my G of X? Is here. So this X becomes X minus 7/3. So I'm going to get, okay, minus 18 into, okay, X minus 7 all over 3. Okay, but that's not all, minus 37. Okay, so again, you know that 3 will go into 18 how many times? So it will be minus here.
6.
Okay, 6. So like I said, I'll handle it maturely. So it will be minus 6 times x. So that will give you minus 6x. Then minus 6 times minus 7, that will give us what? Plus what? 42. Okay, then minus your 37. All correct?
Yes.
Okay, so here, let's see. Okay, our S term, which should have been the first term, anyway, is negative. So we'll share it and see whether the other term will be positive. So 42 minus 37 will give us
5.
Okay, so you get 5 minus 6x. Because that is positive, you start with this. And 5 minus 6x is equal to which function?
G of X.
G of x. So this is the information. Okay, so let me go forward and see whether, okay, I made known that fact. I wrote it. So, okay, I wrote it. So hence, so this is it. Okay, take note of this. So far, all that we've done. Okay, we said f of g, okay, inverse of x will be equal to f of g. You feed it with g inverse. That is one interpretation. You get it? Are you with me?
Yes, please.
Okay, which we also said will be equal to f of, okay, then what we have, it to be f of, then it to be g of g inverse of s. So f, you put this in bracket, that's what we have here. Take note of that. But we said, remember, g of g inverse of s will give you what? G of g inverse of s will give you
X.
It will give you x. So it means indirectly what we have here is f of what? Of x, which is written as what? F into what? Into bracket x. So you always get this. So take note of this. Anytime, okay, you have composition of functions, okay, and you realize that the last two functions, they are the same function, but one is the inverse of the other. Okay, if you compute, you always get the function that is here. Your final result will always be the function that is here. And let's go back and see whether indeed, okay, from what we did, okay, we ended up getting the same result. So let's see. You can see that f of g of, if I feed f of g with the inverse of the function that is here, my resultant, okay, function will be the function that is here. That's how come this is 3x plus 7, and 3x plus 7 is what? The function f. Should I come again, or my point is well made?
Come again.
Okay, so anytime, okay, you are given a composite of a function, okay, and you want to get the function that is here in your composite function, okay, that is the outer function. Okay, just feed the composite function with the inverse of the inner function, and that will automatically give you the outer function. So anytime I have f of g and I want to get f, I will feed f of g with the outer function, sorry, the inner function here, its inverse, which is g, the inverse of g. So if I feed automatically from what we did, you can see that we ended up getting 3x plus 7, which is the same as our f of x. So that will give us the f of x straight away. Okay, and in the same way, if you come to this, okay, you can see the outer function is g. So g of f, okay, the inner function is what? Is f. Okay, so if you want to get the outer function, you feed what? The composite function here with the inverse of the inner function, which is f. So if you feed golf with the inverse of what? The inner function, your result will be the same as g, which is what we have here. So going forward, we'll be making use of this concept in our, okay, next, okay, concept that we are going to learn. Okay, so quickly, let's move on to, okay, we've made the statement, we understand. So anytime I want to find any function which is here, I make use of this concept. However, okay, there is another approach in finding the inverse. So I will go back and teach you before we come to our new concept, which may be possibly we will need it. Okay, this is it. You know how to find the inverse going through the usual route. Okay, let y to be equal to your function, interchange x and y, then you make y the subject. Is that not it? You know that. Okay, I'm going to walk you through an alternative way of finding the inverse, making use of a particular fact that we know. So alternative routes of finding the inverse. Okay, if this one is okay for you, you can always adapt. Okay, this is it. Okay, anytime I want to find the inverse of this function, f, but I know for a fact that, okay, I know for a fact, okay, that f of f inverse of x, okay, should give me x. Do you agree?
Yes.
Okay, so can I say that this implies that, okay, you can see that once I write is equal to x, it is now an equation. I said anytime you equate any function to anything, it ceases to be a relation or a function and it becomes an equation. So I start with implication. So can I say that the left-hand side is what? F of what? F inverse of x. This is the same as this. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay, now what is the meaning of f inverse of x? What is the meaning of this statement? Just the face meaning of this. The direct meaning. Okay, it means that whenever you see x in f of x, you put f inverse of x there. Is that not it? So this now becomes the input for your f. Is that clear? My professors, are you there? Okay, so can I write this one as, I know my f. F is this. So can I write this one as 3 times f inverse of x, okay, plus 7 is equal to x. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Hello, do you all agree?
Yes.
Okay, so what am I looking for? I'm looking for f inverse of x, so I
F
can make it
inverse.
the subject. So I can write this as 3 times f inverse of x will be equal to x minus 7. Okay, then I write it again before I divide. Okay, please let your mind be here. It seems someone's attention is not here. Okay, x minus 7 over 3, then over 3. So this gives me, I can say that therefore my f inverse of x is equal to x minus 7 over 3. Is it the same result that we had going our usual route?
Yes, please.
Okay, so you can see that we can make use of the concept of what? The function, the composite of a function and its inverse, giving you the identity element to find the inverse of any function. Okay, so you can try that, okay, for that of the gene. You end up getting the same result. That's the beauty of mathematics. So that's an alternative way to find the inverse. Okay, but usually we don't teach this. We teach the other one. Is that clear?
Yes, please.
Okay, very good. I will make use of a certain, okay, concept here. Okay, that's the more reason why I worked you through. So when we get there, my work will be very easy. Okay, so now, okay, this is what we are going to do. Okay, if you're able to do this, then any questions, okay, related to composite functions, you should be able to deal with it. So we are going to look at finding a simple function, giving a composite function and the other simple function. So here we know we are going to restrict ourselves to composition of two functions. We won't go beyond. Okay, but if you are given the composite of a function and one of the functions that you combine, okay, to get that composite function, okay, you can find the other function. Okay, and how do we find that? Okay, we have two techniques, okay, depending on the nature of the question. Each nature will give you one technique in dealing with this. So this is what I mean. Assuming, okay, I've been given f of g of x. I know f of g of x. Okay, and I am given f of x. Okay, I could be asked to use this information to find g of x. Okay, I could be given f of what? G of x. Okay, and again, given what? G of x. So if g of x is given, then you'll be asked to find which of the functions. Which function would you be asked to find? Which function? Okay,
F of x.
f of x. So here, if you are given the composite function here and f of x, then you will be asked to find g of x. If you are given the composite function and one function is given, then is the other function that you'll be asked to find. Take note. Okay, now this is it. Okay,
Sir,
and yes, please.
can you come again?
Okay, I said I'm just making you drawing your attention to what we have here. Okay, trying to explain the concepts that we have here. I mean, the topic, if I'm supposed to put it that way, or the subtopic. Okay, we said finding a simple function, giving a composite function and the other simple function. So here you are giving a composite function. It means the composite function will be given. Okay, I only stated this. I didn't give you the exact composite function. And the function, one of the functions will be given. So I gave you f of x. And I said, if I give you this composite function and give you one of the functions that you use to form the composites, then obviously you'll be asked to find g of x. The other function becomes g of x. Is that clear?
Yes.
Because I cannot ask you to find f of x if I give it to you. You get it? Okay. So then in the same way, if I have f of g of x and I give you g of x, then it means the other function that you'll be asked to find will be what? F of x. Okay. All right. So this is it. Two situations. You can see that if you are given f of x, okay, sorry, f of g of x, and the question also gives you f of x, it means the question gave you the composite function and that it has given you the outer function of the composite function. You are asked to find the inner function. Okay, when you have this situation, there is a way of dealing with it, a particular way that you are supposed to, okay, adhere to or go by. Then in this situation, if I have this f of g of x and you are giving g of x, it means the composite function, which one are you giving? Is it the outer or the inner?
The inner.
The inner. So you'll be asked to find the outer. Okay, so you have two situations. Okay, one, you'll be giving the inner, find the outer. The other one, you'll be giving the outer, find the inner. Each one has a specific way of dealing with it. So let's go and see how best we can deal with that. Okay, going through this example. Okay, so let's look at our first worked example of what? Okay, finding a simple function, giving the composite function, and what the other was simple function. So let's see. First work the example AI. Given that f of g of x is equal to this, okay, then, okay, you can see that what we have here, was it? Yes, it was this function, the f of g of x. Okay, we have found it. Okay, this function is pretty. I mean, it's a function that you know as well. Then this one too is a function that you know. So indirectly, we know the function that we are supposed to get, the g of x, we know. Because you know a certain function that I combine to get this result. One of the function is this. We want to find the other function. Don't worry. It's a little tricky, but not difficult. Okay, not difficult at all. It's a little technical, but it's not difficult. So let's go and look at how best to solve it. I will give you one or two information, then you are okay, good to go. So solution. Let's see how best we can get, okay, so the solution. So we are going to do AI. Okay, so solution, when you read the question, okay, there is nothing to underline. So you write solution, then after that, your question number. Yes, you have a major question number. Okay, 1. You have a minor question number A. Not only that, but you have I as well. Okay, and you extract the information there. So that will be giving, okay, the composite function. Don't write that. Okay, so just write f of g of x. Okay, that is equal to 22 minus what? 18x. You see the beauty of what we are doing pretty soon. And, okay, the other function, what are we giving? And the function came in the mapping form, but we are extracting the relation form. So f of x is equal to, okay, 3x, okay, plus what? 7. At this point, I need your maximum attention. Okay. This is it. First of all, check from the basic meaning of your composite function and see if you can continue. And by that, this is what I mean. Okay. If you are given f of g of x, what is the basic meaning of f of g of x? This means f, you feed it with g of x. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay, very good. So now the basic meaning will make sense, or it will be useful. Let me put it that way, because I will know my f. The f is given, so I can feed it with what? G of x. Okay, so this is what I'm going to write. I'll write but, okay, my f of g of x is equal to f. I feed it with what? G of x. Is my point well made? Is my point well made? Okay, very good. So can I, this is now an equation. So can I say that this implies that, okay, let's see what is going to happen. Okay, f of g of x is given. That is 22 minus 18x. Is that clear? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Please.
So I am going to substitute that here. This is the first example. So I need your maximum attention here, minus 18x. So that will take the place of what you have here. And I know how to find f of g of x. F of g of x means wherever we see x in f of x, we put g of x there. We don't know the actual g of x. That's what we are looking for. So it means wherever I see x here, I will put g of x there. Remember where we are coming from when we're using the composite function technique to find the inverse. We made use of, okay, something of this sort. So I can say that this is the same as 3 times g of x, because your f of x, your input now there is g of x, then plus 7. Should I come again?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Okay, all right.
Yes, please.
Okay, just relax. Okay, it's a little technical, but after you get it, okay, you will love to use it. Okay, so it's a little technical, take note. Okay, so this is what we are giving. And I said, anytime the composite function is given, okay, check whether you can use the direct meaning of the composite function, meaning the composite function, direct meaning will be useful. And if it will be useful, then it means the function that you are giving, okay, the function that you are going to feed, okay, that function must be known. So in here, we know the basic meaning of this is f of g of x is equal to f. I feed it with g of x. Do I know f that I can feed with another function? And the answer is yes, because it's given. You get it?
No, please.
Okay, so this is it. Okay, f of the meaning of f of g of x is this. You get, as for this one, you get it. Is that not it?
Yes, please.
Okay, but I'm saying that before you can feed the function, you need to know the function. Otherwise, you can't feed the function. True or false?
True.
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 Okay, so now, okay, the reason why I wrote this is that I did this mentally or indirectly. Okay, I investigated whether it would be useful in terms of using the direct meaning. So if you take this is what you said. I said, okay, you can see that the function f is given. So f of g of x means this is now the input of the function f. Is that not it? So once I know the function f, irrespective of the input, I can feed. You get the point?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Okay, so this is what so if you remember where we came from, let me see if I can go back a little. The inverse one. Okay, remember, what did we do here? When we were looking for f of f inverse, we said once we know f, we can feed it with the inverse. So you substituted the inverse. So that took the place of the x. Is that not it? Just because you know f, you can feed it with anything that you are giving. Okay, whether what you are giving is known or is not known, you can feed it with it. Okay, so that's what's my point. That's exactly my point. So let's go back to what we have there again. So in this case, I know f of g of x. F of g of x is what? Okay, let me continue here. Let me clear this. Maybe it's because of that. Okay, you have issues, but hold on. It shouldn't be a problem. Let me clear this. Okay, and let's use the direct meaning. So I am going to clear the whole of this. Okay, once you understand that meaning, the statement there, you all get it right. Okay, so I'm going to write equal to, I'll come down. So it means my f of g of s will be equal to this. What is the meaning? The meaning of what we have here is wherever I see x in f of x, I put g of s there. Is that clear? Okay, so this is f of x. Wherever I see x, it is now g of x. So it means I will get 3 into g of x, okay, plus 7. Is it clear now?
Yes, please.
Okay, but you know that this same f of g of x that you are saying is equal to this. Okay, you are told that is the same as this. Is that not it? So it means indirectly what you have here is also equal to this. Is it clear? You get the point. If A is equal to B and B is equal to C, then A is equal to C. You get it?
Yes, please.
Okay, so can I come and write, this implies, I wrote it initially. This implies that, okay, my 3g x, okay, plus 7, or g of s plus 7, will be equal to the same 22 minus 18x. Is that clear?
Yes, please.
Okay, but you remember initially I substituted, okay, f of g of s, which is given. So I wrote it below. It's equal to, then I wrote this one also below, its meaning. Initially, that's what I did, but it's the same as this. So I don't know which one you can relate better. Okay, if it is this one, then going forward, I will use this. Otherwise, I will use the other one. So in this point, what are we looking for? You can see that you have an equation in g of x. You can solve for g of x, the unknown g of x. So what do? I will isolate the term in g of x. So I will maintain the term in g of x here. Okay, and move this particular term to this side. So that will give me 22 minus 7, then minus 18x. So 22 minus 7 will give us, my professors, I'm waiting. 22 minus 7.
15.
Okay, so 15. Okay. 15 minus 18x. Is that clear? Okay. All right. If you can't do it mentally, you just move. Then later you come to this. So that will give you 22 minus 18x, then minus 7. By the 22 and the minus 7, you can combine to give you this. Okay, then you write it again before you divide. Because we are making g of x the subject. Is that clear? That's what we are looking for. The question asks us to find g of x. So over 3. Okay, so that gives us what? G of x, okay, to be equal to 15 minus 18 x over 3. Is my point well made?
Yes, please.
However, take note. However, you can conclude with this. Remember, I told you anytime you have an algebraic fraction, okay, check whether it can be reduced. How do you determine whether it can be reduced or not? What did I say? How do you make that determination, whether it can be reduced or not? Remember, I told you that if it can be reduced or not, we have to factorize to convince ourselves whether reduction will be possible. Do you remember? So you inspect whether factorization will result in reduction. If it will result in reduction, then it means it will be compulsory for you to factorize. If it will not, okay, then what do? You leave it like that. I'll give you that advice. So here I can reduce it because I realize that I can bring 3 out. Is that not it? The numerator, there is a common numerical factor, which is 3. Is that clear?
Yes.
So I can factorize. The factorization will be useful because I know that the 3 that I'll bring out can cancel the denominator 3. So it means I have to go ahead and factorize. So it will be 3 out, and he help me. 5 minus 6x
6x.
all over 3. Is that clear?
Yes, please.
Now what you have there is product, so this can cancel that. So I can comfortably draw my conclusion that therefore my g of x, okay, will be equal to 5 minus 6x. And you can see that it's the same, okay, g of x that we use to form, okay, the composite with this to get this result. So you have to get that unique, okay, function. Okay, very good. Okay, Josiah. Okay, so Prof. Josiah. So this is what you are supposed to get. Is my point well made? So here, the point that I'm making or I've made so far is that when you realize that the composite function, you can use its direct meaning. Use its direct meaning and go and feed that function that is given. Meaning, if you can use that direct meaning, then it means the function that you are supposed to feed is known. Is the given function, is the function that you are giving, not the function that you are asked to find. So in that case, you can use the direct meaning of the composite function to, okay, work it out. We'll do one more, but let's go and look at another situation, okay, which will call for the II. II will call for another technique. Okay, in that situation, we cannot make use of the direct, okay, meaning of what? The composite function. So we have to use another approach, which is not different from, okay, or it's not entirely new to you. Okay, we'll make use of a particular concept. We just apply. Okay, so AII. Okay, we need to extract what we are giving. What are we giving? Okay, we've been given f of g of x. Okay, that is equal to what? 22 minus 18. Okay, and okay, g of x is also in the mapping form. So you extract in the, okay, relation form. So g of x is equal to, okay, 5 minus 6x. Okay, so now what do we want to find? We want to find f of x. So by inspection, let's see. Okay, the composite function here. This means the composite function given. This is f. You feed it with g of x. Do you know f that you can feed with g of x?
No, please.
No. So it means you cannot go this route. Okay, you cannot use the direct meaning. And this is how you find that function. We are supposed to make use of the concept. Remember, we said, you know, that anytime you find the composites, okay, so if I have f of g of x, okay, if I feed this function with the inverse of the function that is here, it will give me this function. You remember? If I feed the composite function here with the inverse of the inner function, I will get the function, the outer function. Remember where we came from. And here, f of x that I'm looking for is the outer function. So this is all that you write. You write but, okay, you make use of that concept, f of x, which is the function that is, okay, your outer function. Let me clear that. Okay, it's a little technical, but once you get it, okay, it becomes very easy. Okay, so let me clear this. Okay, I know for a statement of fact that if I want to get my g of x, this is how I get my g of x. Okay, so I am going to get is equal to, I know I will get this by feeding the composite function f of g with the inverse of the function here. So it will be into g inverse of x. Is my point well made?
Please come again.
Okay, let's go back. That's how I always build my arguments. So looking at where we came from, okay, if you understood, then this shouldn't be a problem. That's why I said, if you understood that, remember, okay, anytime you find a composite, remember what I have here. I feed, if I'm looking for this function, we said f of s will be equal to f of g inverse of x. Can you see that? Okay, what we did here before we came to that, remember, okay, if I want to find this function, I realize that if I feed the composite of this function by the inverse of the function that is here, it will give me the function here because this ended up giving us a g of s. Remember, look at g of x. Is it clear? Is my point well made now?
Yes, please.
Okay, and we did same for the e. Okay, so we are only making use of that word fact. Okay, concept that we learned there. Okay, and okay, this is it. So here it means if, okay, I know f of g and I feed it with g inverse, my result automatically will give me f of x. Is that clear? Which is what I'm looking for. Is my point well made? So anytime, okay, you are looking for your outer function, okay, feed the composite function, okay, the given composite function by the inverse of your outer function, sorry, your inner function, forgive me, by the inverse of the inner function, this which is here. Okay, by the other one, okay, you can see that you were given the outer function, you were asked to find the inner function. When you are given the outer function and you're asked to find the inner function of the composite function, then you have to use the raw meaning, the direct meaning of the composite function. But if you are given, okay, the, what do you call it, the inner function, instead of what the outer function, meaning if you're asked to find the outer function, then you have to make use of what the, okay, composite function feeding with what inverse function technique. So in this case, I know, okay, I know f of g. So if I'm able to find g inverse, which I can find because I know g. So if I'm able to find g inverse, I feed f of g with that g inverse, then my result automatically will give me f of x. So I will have to set out to look for my g inverse. So here I will go and write for g inverse because I will need g inverse to feed my f of g. Okay, for g inverse, I will let y to be equal to g. And what is g? Okay, 5 minus what? 6x. That's g of x. Though we found g inverse, I could have inferred, but it's a different question, so I don't want to infer. That's why we are doing it together. So what do we have? This will give us what? Okay, after that you interchange. So interchanging. Okay, x and y, your variables. Okay, please, it's not substituting x and y. Sorry, x and y. Okay, I will clear it later. Okay, so that gives me, okay, x is equal to 5 minus what, 6y. So now what do? I'm making y the subject. It's negative here, so I'll move it to the side. So 6y is equal to, okay, 5. Okay, you maintain it here and you bring the s here minus x. You write it again before you divide, but I'll go to the next page and do that. So I have 6y is equal to 5 minus x over 6 over 6. My professors, are you following?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so 5 minus x over 6. Okay, as for the inverse, we found it already. Only that I asked you to give me only the result. Okay, Prof. Caleb. Prof. Caleb.
Sir,
Prof, your hand was up.
sir, please, when you were writing the given f of g of x, you wrote 22 minus 18.
Which one? Oh, 22.
I.
Thank you. It is 22 minus what? 18x. Okay, thank you. Okay, all right. So we haven't used it. Okay, at the point where we were going to use it, I would have known because I will refer to it. Okay, thanks for drawing my attention anyway. Okay, I saw another hand up.
Yes,
Was
please.
that the situation? Is this the same situation you wanted to draw my attention to?
Yes, sir. Please, it's fine.
Okay, great. Okay, so now let's go. So at this point, we know, okay, G inverse. So I will say that I won't write therefore. Please mute. Okay, mute. Okay, so at this point, what do we have? You write, this implies, because, okay, G inverse is only a means to an end. Take note of that. Okay, so at this point, what do we get? We are going to get, okay, G inverse. So I'll write G inverse of x. Okay, is equal to 5 minus x all over 6. Okay, so now we are good to go. So I'll write therefore, okay, f of x. Remember we said it will be the same as f of g. You feed it with g inverse, but your g inverse is what? 5 minus x all over 6. Is my point well made? Hello, is my point well made?
Yes, please.
Okay, which will be equal to, you come close to the margin when you come down. So do I know f of g? Yes, I know f of g. Okay, and that was given as what? Was it f of g? Oh, this one is rather for b. I've moved into the b territory. Okay, don't worry, I'll clear it. I think I should have created another, okay, page for the other one. This is rather, okay, b. No issues. Let me pause then do the needful. Or maybe I will clear that. Okay, let me pause and do the needful. Okay, so, all right, so I've done this. So it's A. We're given f of g. We know f of g, okay, of x. So once you know f of g of x, you know f of g of anything. So now we are finding f of g of this one instead. So wherever you see x in f of g, it is what? It is 5 minus x over 6. So I'm going to get 22 minus 18x, but your x is now, okay, 5 minus x all over 6. Okay, and what do we do? This gives us 22. You know this will go here 3. So this will cancel and it will give you 3. So you get minus 3 times this, which will give you minus 15. Then minus 3 times minus x, that will give us plus 3x. Okay, so obviously this will be equal to, okay, I want to write, this is positive, so I want to write that one first, 3x. Then 22 minus 15 will give us what? 7. So it will be plus 7. So you can see that it is indeed the same as the f of x that is here, because I used these two to form the composite, which gave me these two, the result that I have here. So if one is given, okay, irrespective of how you approach it to get the other, you should get the exact, okay, other function. So this is what's the function. So take note, we'll do one more. Let me look at the time and see whether we are, oops, okay, no issues anyway. Okay, we will try maybe the next one and see. I will move a little faster. Okay, so you have two ways. One that you use the direct substitution, and the other one that you use the composite function fed with an inverse function. Okay, and we said you use the composite function fed with the the inverse function when you are looking for the outer function, and the other one you use it when you are looking for the inner, okay, function. So please take note. So let's go and look at that of what the 1b. Okay, so 1b. BI. Okay, quickly. What are we giving? We are giving g of f of x to be equal to what? Minus 18x minus what? 37. You remember this function, composite function. And okay, f of x, okay, is equal to what? 3x plus 7. Okay, so we want to find g of x. Let's see, is g of x the outer function or the inner function? Look at the composite function. Okay, what is your outer function here? Out, in, is g, and your inner function is what? Is f. So it is the outer function that, okay, you are asked to find. You've been given the inner function. And remember we said, if you are looking for the outer function, you use the inverse approach. Feed your composite function with the inverse of the inner function, and that will give you your outer function. Is that clear? Or if you still want to investigate, it is this the raw meaning, the direct meaning of this one is g, you feed it with f of x. But you ask yourself, if you want to use the direct one, then you should know g to feed with f of x. Do you know g that you can feed with f of x? The answer is a big no. So it means you can't use the direct one. You have to use the other approach, which is the inverse substitution approach. So now what do? We are going to write but. Having investigated, we know the approach to go. That's why we need to think before you write. But we know the outer function g of x, okay, will be equal to, okay, the composite function g of f, fed with what? The inner function, which is what? Inverse of the inner function, rather. Is that clear? Is my point well made, my professors? Hey, my professors are quiet. Are you sure you are following?
Yes, please.
Please go back again.
Okay, from where? Okay, I just made a statement of fact. I know I'm looking for my outer function. My outer function is always equal to the composite function fed with the inverse of the inner function. So you just write this, my outer function, which is g of x equal to composite function fed with the inner function. Because here is the outer function that I'm looking for, and I've been given the inner function. So in this case, this will tell me that we need the inverse of the inner function to feed the composite function, because I know g of f. So I need to go and find the inverse. So in this case, I'm going to write, okay, for, okay, f inverse of x. Okay, all right. Have you, what we did, or the other one was g inverse. We will let, okay, we haven't done f inverse. We'll let y to be equal to f, okay, of x. So no, so we know the exact function. So let's quickly go and substitute that function. F of x is what? F of x is 3x plus 7. So you interchange. So interchanging, okay, I won't write it. Interchanging x and y just because of time. Okay, x and y. You are going to get x is equal to, okay, 3y plus 7. Then you make, what do you call it? Y the subject. So if you make y the subject, you are going to get y to be equal to, okay, x minus 7 over 3. So I've skipped all that. So it means this implies that your f inverse, okay, will be equal to x minus 7 on 3. Is that clear? So now I can say that therefore my g of, is it g of x? Yes, g of x will be equal to g of f. I feed it with f inverse. I now know, okay, f inverse. So it will be g of f fed with f inverse. F inverse give us x minus 7 all over 3. Okay, so that will be equal to golf fed with this. So where is your golf? G of f. This is it. So wherever I see x here, it is now x minus 7 over 3. So that gives me minus 18 into what? X minus 7 all over 3. But that's not all, minus 37. So what would this give me? 3 will go here, what? 6. So I'm going to get minus 6 times this, which will give me minus 6x Minus 6 times minus 7, which will give us plus 42. Okay, then minus what? 37. So in effect, we are going to get what? Okay, this will be negative. So I will shelve that. Okay, let me see this. This will be positive. And what would that give you? 42 minus 37. 5. So you get 5 minus what? 6x. Okay, so therefore your g of x indeed will be 5 minus 6x, because this was the function that we combined with the other one to get what is there. Oops. Okay, quickly, just a minute or two. Let's look at the II. Okay, because we are going to break, okay, today. All right, so now what do we have? With that one to you extract. Okay, so you've been asked to find f of x. So giving, okay, g of f of x. Okay, you write minus 18x minus 37. And okay, your g of x is equal to 5 minus 6x. Okay, so in this case, let's see if you can use the direct meaning. G of f of x means, okay, G I feed with f of x. Do I have G given that I can feed? My professors?
Yes.
Do I have G given? Yes, so it means I can use the direct meaning. So I'll write, but, okay, G of f of x is equal to, okay, G I feed it with what? F of x. Okay, so I'll write this implies that G of f of x is given. I will write this one here. Minus 18, okay, x minus what? 37. But that should be equal to G of f of x. That means wherever I see x in G of x, I substitute, okay, f of x there. So where is my G of x? This. So that will give me 5 minus 6, okay, times f of x. Is my point well made?
Wow.
So at this point,
Wow.
you continue and make f of x the subject.
Also,
Okay, so you move this one to the side, then move these two to the side. Then you combine and divide your results by 6. You end up getting exactly what we are looking for. Is my point well made?
That's what's going to the house.
So this gives us 6. Okay, someone's attention is not here. Okay, all right. Okay, so now what do we have? We are going to get 6. Okay, f of x, let me write it so that you can follow. Then at this point, I will leave you. I move this one to the side because it's negative. Then I move this 2 to the other side. So that will give me 18x. The 18 will be positive here. Then I will get 5 minus, okay, minus 37. It will be 5 plus 37. And that will give me 42. So plus 42. Okay, but unfortunately, I can't end here. I'll write it again and divide by 6. But after dividing by 6, I will see that 6 can go through this. Even when dividing this, I can do that mentally because I want to divide term-wise. This can go into this, can go into this. So instead of writing it as a single and dividing, I can write, therefore, my f of x, I will divide mentally each one because it's more than a term. So it will be 18x over 6, and that will give me 3x. Am I right? Then plus 42 over 6, that will give me 7. I'm done. So that becomes my, okay, is it f of s or g of x? What were we looking for? Let me be, okay, it's f of x. Okay, so f of s that I'm looking for. So I will divide by that. So it will give you the same result. So on that note, okay, this becomes what your assignment. Okay, I will give it, okay, put it on the platform for you. Next time, if your understanding is not perfect, we'll look at these ones. Okay, however, that's where we are going to end. Okay, any questions? Hello, any questions? Are we all fine? Okay, if you are not fine and you want to wait for the video before, don't worry, the video will come, okay, as soon as possible. Wait, take your time, okay, and get the understanding perfectly before you move on. Only 2 concepts. In terms of function, composite, simple, find the other one. Okay, and questions are moving towards this direction. So you need to make sure you understand this. Okay, take notes on that. Okay, so thank you very much. Okay, this is where time will allow us to, get to. Now, God willing, in our next meeting, okay, which will be after your Easter break, okay, but I will send you other videos as well just to occupy you. Take notes. Okay, when we come, we'll make a certain decision, but it's very likely you write a test next week. Okay, take notes and please spread, okay, the good news. Thank you very much for your time. God bless us all.